Hey y'all. Happy Saturday. It's good to see y'all. I see some of y'all have already left me some comments. What's up, Pooh Man? I see you in the chat representing for me, dropping my Cash App. Thank you, sir. And my Discord. Yes, if you all haven't join my Discord, join it. I'll be putting out some things that are up and coming for members only. So I'll drop hints there because also my Discord will be linked to like uh, a white elephant, so to speak. Um, since y'all don't want to celebrate birthdays and I like to do giveaways, I'm going to start announcing some giveaways in the Discord. What's up, Go Cree Stillmatic Network, Better Call Paul, very cool. Cases and Cams, Stillmatic Network, and Dr. Max City TV. Okay. All right. He says he's from Drama City TV and he's in Cleveland. What's up to Cleveland? Okay. 12's in the chat. 12's in the chat. But it's good to see y'all. So Saturday, it's called my show is called Petals, Power and Petals, and we're going to be talking about like very broad politics. Well, like it's kind of like a politics 101, right, where we talk about it broad enough to understand the systems that we have in our cities. And how they're set up, right? So that we can make the most the best vote for ourselves, so that we don't vote against our own interests. We want to get what we want. So in order to get what we want, we have to know who to hold accountable. Okay. And so these shows on Saturday are just kind of like a civics 101, so to speak. Okay. So today's episode, I won't hold you all long. These shows will be about an hour long. Like I said, I do want to start incorporating like panels, but I'm going to gear panels to members only. Okay. And we'll have a panel on the 11th of January, right? That way they can be thoughtful, insightful, and I'll drop the topics for members beforehand. And, we'll open up for people to watch, but it will only be for members to join the panel and talk in the chat. Okay. So look out for that. But yeah, in your city where you're at, I'm in Atlanta. Who runs the freaking city, right? Is it the mayor or is it the city council, right? So in today's episodes of Smell the Roses, Power and Petals, it's who runs your city council? I want to know. If you could drop your cities in the chat, and I will do a comparison on the community posts of a few cities, my city, ATL, versus maybe your city of Chicago or your city, someone said Cleveland. So I'll do Cleveland, Ohio. I'll do a comparison in the community post for you all so that you all can see the differences of how Cleveland does their business versus the city of Atlanta. Okay. So before I let this video play for everybody, I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of background of like, in my city how it works and like why you all should care about this. Okay, because when we have things like Mondani in New York or Brandon Johnson in Chicago, people are like, what the hell is up with these mayors? Like, aren't they supposed to do X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and Z? And Sometimes the answer is no, they're not. Sometimes the drama that's going on in their cities is not actually the job that they're held accountable for. And then sometimes when we get on these panels or we leave comments on news channels or news network videos, we're speaking from a place of ignorance, and we're not educated. Okay, so, and even I forget, even I have to, because in Atlanta we have some tricky little cities. You could be like in the city limit in a county, and then it's kind of like two rules apply to you. Like if you have a traffic violation, or for a big thing is traffic violations and also property taxes. A lot of people here in Atlanta do not want to live in anything that is city limit, because it's kind of like you get taxed twice, right? You get the county, you get the city. It's wonky down here. I don't have that issue, but there are a couple of my friends who have moved out of situations like that. But this is why we need to know these things, so that when we go to buy houses, when we go to put our kids in school, we understand who to hold accountable when our property goes up, when our schools start sucking. You want to know who the hell you need to get on the phone and hold accountable for, the potholes in the city of Atlanta, the constant water main breaks in the city of Atlanta. I could go on and on and on. When you live here, you want to know who to hold accountable. And if I believe that's true for me, I believe that's true for all of you all, right? So most US cities fall into two systems, and that's a strong mayor system or a council manager system, okay? And today we're going to talk about both, right? I took notes here, and I also am going to give you guys a little personal antidote, because my godfather actually ran against Mayor Kasim Reed. And that kind of like opened my eyes to how power and politics like really work at a high level. And then when I was doing research on the city of Atlanta for this episode today, I compared the city of Atlanta to the city of New York. And oh my goodness, the city of New York is a very, very, very important place. Okay. They manage billions of dollars. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of programs in the city of New York. So now I see why New York seems to be like this hub for like politics, and a way maybe for people in high places to bleed money. But anyway, here we go. Okay. All right. So in a strong mayor system, the mayor is the CEO of the city. Okay. That means the mayor proposes the budget, appoints department heads like the police chief, the fire chief, and public works. Okay. He has veto power over city council decisions and directly influences how city laws are enforced. Okay. The city council in this system passes laws and ordinances, approves or rejects the mayor's budget, and can override a veto only with enough votes. Okay. Now, where did we just literally see this go down? We saw this happening in Chicago. The freaking mayor, Brandon Johnson, he wanted to, bail out immigrants and give them all the money. And he wanted to say F you to all of the constituents in the city that lived there, before the city became a immigrant sanctuary city, right? So the residents were like, no, we don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to dump any more money into these folks because we're suffering. Now our property taxes are going up. Everything is going up for us. And you just want to keep siphoning money to this group of people. So what did they do? The city council listen to the people. Even they were fed up. I mean, they are people of the community. They live there. Their property taxes would potentially go up the same, you know? So, of course, they're invested. So, what did they do? They vetoed Brandon Johnson's bill, and he had to come to the table at the end of the year and sign the bill that the city council members approved themselves, right? So before the new year, and I kind of like lost count of what's going on. Yeah, Jihanda, Brandon Johnson is responsible for a lot of businesses leaving the city of Chicago. Yes, 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 because he was going to do a employee head tax. So he was going to tax businesses per employee, you know, like completely crazy. Like if you were a business and you had never experienced this kind of head tax before, why would you stay in a city like that? You would pull out. And that's exactly what they did. So you're right, Jihanda. Thank you. But yeah, so the city council, they can veto, and that's what they did to Brandon Johnson, right? So, like I just said, think New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, right? In these cities, yes, the mayor holds the real power. Like they have the prestige, but they don't have the power without the rest of the people behind them, like in order to create a, some checks and balances, right? But here's where most people get tripped up. In a council manager system, the city council is the power center. Okay. Right. The council passes laws, controls the budget, hires a city manager, a professional administrator, right? And can fire the city manager. All right. So if you're not doing a good job, then they have every right to send you on your way and give you your marching papers, right? The mayor in this system, though, is chosen from within the council, has one vote, just like everyone else, and acts more as a ceremonial leader or meeting facilitator. In many cities, the mayor cannot hire department heads, unilaterally set policy. Like policy is super serious. You have to have all heads on the all everybody has to have a seat at the table, right? So one person just can't make policies, right? It has to be a group, a work group of people, right? And in this case, it is the city council with the mayor's vote, and they can override council decisions, right? The mayor cannot override what the council says. So, you know, Brandon Johnson, even though it's on him, it's really not, because the council has already spoken, they've already agreed, they've already said this is the plan forward, right? So if you're constantly mad at the mayor of your city, like how I used to be, um, you need to consider that you could be yelling at the wrong person, right? What's up, Fulio? What's up, James Arnold, Stanley, Virgil? What's up, y'all? And Drama City, I'm going to do a comparison of the ATL in Cleveland. So check me out in the community post later on, so that you can see how our cities are different or similar. Okay. So here's the trick. All right. The mayor is going to always get the spotlight, right? But like if there's a problem going on, the mayor is not the first person you want to reach out to. Okay. He gets the spotlight, he gets, or she gets the press, they get the photo ops, and they usually get the brunt of the blame. And the council, you know, they get the quiet meetings, you know, low voter turnout and minimal media coverage. And this is another reason why we need to be focused like a laser on city councils in cities where we are managed by the council, right? We need to not make it so easy for these people to be train wrecks, because if they're having quiet meetings and there is lower voter turnout, there's usually a propensity for even them to get corrupt. So it's like every group holds the other group in front of them accountable. And we as a voting bloc are the people that are actually voting or allowing these people to hold their seats in government. So when people say, "Oh, I don't get into government," that's y'all. I don't do this. I don't do that. That's kind of like a lazy way of existing in your world, because whether you put the effort in learning in it or not, these things are going to affect you. They're going to affect your family. They're going to affect your children, especially in the future. And so not knowing, not participating, and only, just, kind of like looking down your nose at people who do, is kind of silly, because it takes all of us. So that's the power in Petals Saturdays, right? It's empowering us to make better choices so that we can move effectively as a voting bloc, as a people. It's right now we have this thing going on, about boycotting filing our taxes this year. I don't know if you guys have heard, but that is really gaining traction. The citizens of the United States are saying, "Hey, if Doge has uncovered all of this fraud, if all of our tax dollars are going to other countries through American programs where we can't get daycare, we can't get assistance, and we can't do all of these things, why are we paying our money into the tax system?" So now people want to boycott doing taxes. And it's just getting to a fever pitch where Americans are now freaking tired of just going along to get along and just kind of like rubber stamping everything. No, we want to know where our money is going, and we want to know who to hold accountable when our money goes missing, right? So, this thing about power is that they love it when you don't know what the hell you're supposed to know. They love it that they can move in silence. And the thing about empowering yourself is knowing that when you know who to call, and you know who to write, and you know who to call out by name, it makes it less possible for these people to move in silence. And that is kind of what we have to do for anybody holding a public office. They owe us certain ethics, and we are supposed to be able to hold them accountable to the ethics that they're supposed to uphold, right? And it's usually, for many of us, we don't start to care about these ethics until something really, really bad happens to us. And then we have to hold somebody accountable, and everybody's pointing the finger at the other guy as to who is the person you should be filing a lawsuit against or looking for compensation from. So this can really affect your children, your children's children. You need to know these things, okay? So if you really want to know who runs your city, you need to ask yourself 3 questions. Who controls the budget? That is number 1. Anytime anybody is talking to you about a vote or anything like that, and they have been a person in the public eye, in a public office, you can pull their budgets. You are literally able to see how somebody in a if they had a high government position, it likely came with a budget. And you're able to see, how did ABC so and so, what did Josh so and so do at A, B, and C corporation? How did he manage that corporation's money? We are literally able to pull stuff like that. So we can see how conservative they were. We can see if they gave a lot of money to immigrants. We can see if they, put money towards infrastructure. We can take that budget and we can literally hold it up to their words, and we can hold them accountable when they don't do what they promised us. Right. And then we can literally point to Abby or whoever on CNN and say, this is why we didn't vote for this lady, because she did X, Y, and Z in the budget 2 years ago. And not only that, but where did the money go? Where did the other money go? So it's very specific, and they can't just put any old dumb thing onto us as to why we're not voting or why we didn't vote a certain way. We will empower ourselves to be able to articulate what that reason is. Okay. So number 1, who controls the budget? Who hires and fires department heads? And who can actually change policy, not just talk about it? Okay, so when people start promising you that they are going to change that you're going to be able to ride the train for free, he don't get to set that you should automatically know that, wait a minute, New York is run by the mayor, but the mayor cannot unilaterally set policy. Who is able to set a policy like that that says the bus is going to be free? And that is the council. And depending on your council, you know that's not going to fly. Come on, because you will be able to see how that council has voted in the years previous. You just pull the budget and you see, oh, they spent this much money on police, they spent this much money on fire, they spent this much money on building new roads and infrastructure. You'll be able to see all of that. So that's your power. Okay? That's your power right there. Knowing who the frick does what and why. All right? Um, and I just also want to say, right, that it doesn't have to be like loud and rah, right? When you come at these people, writing a really effective letter can do a lot. Like, you have no idea the kind of letters that I see coming in every day at my job about very concerned citizens, right? And when you read the names, you're like, wow, why would somebody with a name like this care about a topic like this that just really doesn't affect or influence them at all, but they just have a heart about it. They're just like, and it never matches the people it's for. That really touches me, because it's like sometimes it's other people looking out for us and we ain't even looking out for ourselves. But people will write letters and those letters get to very high places. Don't sleep on the power of a fucking letter. Okay, to your children's school, to your children's superintendent, to your student, the city council, to your mayor, your governor. Letters go to very high places and people have to acknowledge you. Letters get you, emails might not get you a response, but a letter will get you a response. Okay, I promise you. All right. So your civic power doesn't always have to be loud. It isn't always charismatic, right? Because sometimes what you're writing about is making you cry, is making you furious, and it definitely isn't always on the ballot, you pay attention to. All right. How many of us voted for the Patriot Act and didn't understand what they were voting for? A very young, naive 18-year-old thinking that something called the Patriot Act was just going to be the best thing for me. And it literally wasn't for none of us. Okay. And we have Snowden, we have him to thank, right? For kind of like blowing the lid off of all of that for us, right? But anyway, so the next time someone says the mayor should fix this, we should all pause, right? Smell the roses and consider, is that even the mayor's job? Okay. All right. Because it's really important to know how your city is run, but your voice actually matters. So once you know how your city is run, you need to start moving differently and accordingly. Okay. So, all right, kind of told y'all there was one more thing. Oh, this video here that I want to show y'all. Okay, so in this video here that I'm going to show y'all today, let me get this off. Okay, so this one was interesting to me. This one came out last night. There was another video I was going to go with that talked about Brandon Johnson, and I might show that if you guys are interested. It's from the Paralegal Network. It's one of my favorite channels on YouTube. But I'm going to let this video play for y'all. This is interesting because it's about Mom Donnie. It's M-A-M. I've been saying it Man Donnie or Mon. But anyway, I'm going to let this play for y'all. This is really interesting.
Now, what Mom Donnie announced here was genuinely scary.
To those who insist that the era of big government is over, hear me when I say this. No longer will City Hall hesitate to use its power.
Hey, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. According to Ronald Reagan, those are the scariest words in the English dictionary. Ladies and gentlemen, Comrade Mamdani has officially been sworn in as the new mayor of New York City, and everything about that inauguration was weird and very disturbing. And I know a lot of people on the right have this view that New Yorkers deserve what they're voting for. They deserve to have Mamdani destroy the city. To some extent, I understand that viewpoint. We, the people, deserve the government we vote for, but it's really not good for the country as a whole when the most important financial city falls to socialism. And what Mamdani did and said at that inauguration revealed to everyone exactly what he's plotting to do, and it's bad. So Mamdani got sworn in twice. The one you're seeing now is the first one and the real one. That's when he officially became mayor last night. Here's the moment where Bernie Sanders swears Zohran Mamdani in.
I, Zohran Kwame Mamdani,
I, Zohran Kwame Mamdani,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Charter of the City of New York.
and the Charter of the City of New York.
So help me God.
So help me God.
This is what I want you to take a look at. This man got sworn in on a Quran. This is the first time this has happened in New York mayoral history. The mayor of the biggest city in America getting sworn into office on the Quran. Here's why that's problematic. The oath he takes is to protect the Constitution. You don't need an expert in Islam to tell you that the Quran and the Constitution are in conflict with each other, massive conflict. How are you going to be faithful to the Constitution and faithful to Islam? You can't serve two masters at the same time. Here's AOC celebrating it like it's something great.
Zohran Mamdani will be the first.
Okay, so I want to stop it right there because, I don't know what his perspective is, but that's not my perspective at all. So yes, it's different, right? And it has never happened before, right? So as far as like religious, okay, all right. So religiously, right? The Quran or the Bible or the Torah or whatever holds spiritual beliefs, right? And that manages what we do morally. And that's like a personal obligation, right? It only binds the people who identify with it, right? So I would go with maybe like the King James version of like, because I'm Catholic, a Muslim person would go by the Quran and so on. Everybody has their own books, right? But those are like personal religious obligations. That is not like a law, okay? The Constitution, it actually governs a person's individual rights, okay? And it limits government power, right? And there's a separation very clear in the Constitution of church and state, right? And that applies equally to all citizens, regardless of their belief. So he can totally be Muslim and be a mayor because it's not constitutionally inappropriate, okay? Now, that applies for any doctrine, like I just said, anyone, apply anything that you want, Buddhist, anything, right? So I don't want y'all to think that just because like that happened and the way he just framed it means that, you know, you can do whatever you want because of his religious belief. No. The conflict only happens when someone tries to turn their belief into law. You know, so if he starts turning New York into a Muslim city or Muslim country, that might be a problem. But just swearing in on the Quran is not actually a faux pas, even though it's never been done before and people are going to feel weird about it. I totally understand. But it's not, you can totally believe in one thing and work to make a city like New York better. Okay.
Muslim mayor of our great city. He will be our first immigrant mayor in over a century. He will be the youngest mayor of New York City in generations. But most importantly, Zohran will be a mayor for all of us.
Absolutely no mention of his competence. This is precisely what's wrong with the left. For people that say they are tolerant of everybody and they want an open society, they sure focus a lot on who a person is and how they look, and not on the skills and value they bring to the collective. Really, they think the more different everyone is, the more united they'll be. She didn't mention a single thing that would make Mamdani relatable to New Yorkers. She only mentioned the things that make him different. Now, a lot of people didn't even notice this last night, but Mamdani's wife, Rama Duwaji, was wearing some $630 luxury boots at the swearing-in ceremony, and she's supposed to be a socialist. What's actually interesting about that is across the country, Gavin Newsom's press office replied with a picture of Donald Trump surrounded by his money, by gold and beautiful furniture, thinking they did something. The reason people are calling that out with Mamdani is because he lives in a rent-stabilized apartment, yet he's living rich. And he says he's a socialist that cares about everybody and wants to redistribute wealth. But Donald Trump is the opposite of that. He's a pure-blooded capitalist. He's a billionaire. He flies private. He doesn't pretend to be a socialist amongst the people. He's unapologetically who he is. And then they showed a picture of Melania Trump with a $40,000 bag, again thinking they did something. No, Melania is not a socialist. She's married.
So, like, what do y'all think? You know, like, is it wrong that Mamdani acts like he's, you know, of the people, but his wife has on $700 boots at his inauguration, and he lives in like subsidized housing in New York, or like rent something, like he lives like on a program. But his wife has on $600 boots, and like they're clearly mad at Trump every other day for whatever, but he never claims to be a pauper. He's saying, you know, eat my Trump steaks and buy my Trump $200 sneakers, and yeah, of course we're going to be in Donna Karan and, you know, all of these haute couture pieces because we're rich. Like, I'm not playing around with y'all. He never lies about it. Would you rather be lied to or not? I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's weird.
Foreign students of color.
I mean, and look at him. Look at his ass. Look at him. He got on the Fendi scarf. This the old mayor, right? This the one Adams. Yeah. Look at him. He looking like, I ain't going with this. Winston, you're gonna have to sit down. No, you sit down. Sorry, y'all. Winston just busted up in here. He can never just let me live my best life. But yeah, look at this. Come on now. So it's like all of them are doing it. All of them.
University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
This is what they were getting. Now, at the inauguration, you had Mamdani, Bernie Sanders, and AOC on stage talking about unity, how New Yorkers are in this together. And then the next minute, it's tax the rich, tax the rich. Now, when you see something like this, please keep in mind that these people aren't working class. That's a lie. When they talk about these Marxist revolutions, they say they're fueled and led by the working class. They're rising up against the oligarchs. They're going to take power and everything's going to be fair. But every single person you see here is overeducated and underpaid. And that's why they have this bitterness towards rich people. They went to college, picked up a bunch of useless degrees. A lot of them probably blog and write ideas about how society ought to function, but none of them contribute anything to the market. And they know that. So rather than work hard and actually become useful members of society, they become socialist. You think if this lady got a degree in finance and made $500,000 on Wall Street, you think she would be here like tax the rich? No. because she would be rich. I bet you all of these people have some useless college degrees and they're forced to work at Starbucks as baristas because apparently no one wants to hire someone who majored in women affairs in the Haitian Caribbean. Like, come on. And they were also hearing Mamdani say nonsense like this.
These communities have existed as distinct from one another. We will draw this city closer together. We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. If our
Yeah, that sounds beautiful, but what he really means is we're going to take away your individual liberties and you're all going to be one big fat class of poor people because all the rich people are going to leave with their jobs and companies and we'll be miserable together. Warmth of collectivism. Okay. There literally won't be any heat because all the heating companies will leave.
campaign demonstrated that the people of New York yearn for solidarity, then let this government foster it. The words that most define us are the two we all share. New Yorkers.
Why are they acting like he's giving a profound speech that's never been heard before? Now, what Mamdani announced here was genuinely scary.
Beginning today, we will govern expansively and audaciously. We may not always succeed, but never will we be accused of lacking the courage to try. To those who insist that the era of big government is over, hear me when I say this. No longer will City Hall hesitate to use its power to improve New Yorkers' lives.
Hey, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. According to Ronald Reagan, those are the scariest words in the English dictionary. This is insane to hear, especially after 2025, when we all learned that trillions of dollars were spent on the most outrageous, rage-infusing things ever.
For too long, we have turned to the private sector for greatness while accepting mediocrity from those who serve the public.
He's saying it's a bad thing that we have entrepreneurs. Do you not understand? He's demonizing those very people that keep the economy going. I can't stand socialism, man. It's even full-blown communism at this point.
I cannot blame anyone who has come to question the role of government, whose faith in democracy has been eroded by decades of apathy. We will restore that trust by walking a different path, one where government is no longer solely the final recourse for those struggling, one where excellence is no longer.
All right, so I broke down some other notes here about, because remember I told y'all I compared me here in Atlanta to here. Okay. All right. So it's like no comparison. It's like literally no freaking comparison when you compare okay, so basically here in Atlanta acts as the CEO of this, the mayor in Atlanta, the mayor acts as the CEO of the city. He oversees the police, the fire, the public works, and all of the planning, and appoints the department heads, like I said. In NYC, the mayor is also considered the CEO, but on a massive scale. Did you just hear him talk about the budget and how they were going to spend money? He oversees the NYPD, FDNY, okay, the fire department, NYC Department of Education, the largest school district in the US, housing, health, transportation, corrections. Oh, so he is going to be in control of transportation, but just because you're in control of it doesn't mean you can make it free, right? Because people have to get paid. And so how would they get paid if they offered a free service like that for trains and buses? But anyway, right? And he appoints dozens of commissioners running multi-billion-dollar agencies, right? So there's a big power difference between my mayor here in Atlanta and the New York mayor, okay? Atlanta equals executive control, and NYC equals executive control plus the whole empire that comes along with it. Okay, all of those commissioners, all of that, the housing, the health, the transportation, the policing, all of that, right? The mayor in Atlanta proposes the city budget, and the city council approves or modifies that. The budget is large, but it is very manageable. Now, check this out. The mayor in New York, okay, the mayor proposes a 100 plus billion budget. Y'all, listen, Linda, listen. The mayor proposes a $100 billion budget to control the priorities that affect housing, policing, schools, transit, okay? City council negotiates, but the mayor sets the tone. Now I understand Batman. Now I understand why Batman isn't that like Gotham City? Isn't that like New York, right? I don't know. Okay, so in Atlanta, the budget sets priorities, but in New York, the budget sets national conversations because you heard that 100 billion plus or 100 plus billion-dollar budget. That is crazy. Okay. In Atlanta, our mayor can veto city council legislation and council can override with enough votes. Okay. So if the mayor shoots it down, but the city council here in Atlanta says, are we going with it? If they have enough votes, they can go with it. In NYC, the mayor also has veto power and the NYC council can override, but the mayor often dominates negotiations before it even gets there. So I'm pretty sure because he allegedly, I don't know, I think I snapped, because he got all that money, it's easy to flip seats. You know, hey, I'm going to get you something nice for Christmas this year if I can get your vote tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know. It's what I think. It's just an opinion of what I think could possibly happen because you got all that money to play around with. You got a lot of money to spread around. You know what I mean? So Winston, please, no, not right now. Sit down. Sit. Good boy. Sorry guys. The NYC mayor often shapes the legislation before it's even introduced. So before he even has to go to anybody and not get a vote, he's already put his people in his cabinet. All right. And since we're going to be talking about government, Nevin, be a little more clever. This is considered planting. You're going to have a treat or something to lure him away from me. He's not going to just get up willingly and go with you. Sorry, guys. Like, everybody's trying to get the dog away. The dog keeps squeaking the toy. I'm just powering through it because I promised somebody I would take him for pizza later. And I got cart before the horse later on too. So I'm just trying to be a mom and trying to have hobbies. And I love y'all. Thanks for your patience. Okay. I dare not hit mute because when I start talking, then y'all can't hear me. And I'm getting cash apps and I feel so bad because people are telling me you're on mute on a cash app. It's like my phone notifications are also on mute, guys. Sorry. Okay. So overall, Atlanta has a very small body, right? With more direct interaction with the mayor, and the council districts feel more personal. I lived in the city of I lived in the city of Atlanta. At the time, my person was this god-awful man named Kwanzaa Hall. And I stand by that. I didn't feel taken care of. But when you go against the grain, that's what happens to you. And remember, I told y'all that my godfather ran for mayor of the city of Atlanta against Kasim Reed, and Kwanzaa Hall was one of his besties. So I was never in good graces after that. And so I still pay to this day. But whatever, I'm very proud of my godfather. Anyway, and so NYC has a very large legislative body with highly political people with strong committees and often behaves like a mini state legislator. All right. So y'all in New York, you guys have got to get it together, because there is too much riding. When y'all vote these people in frivolously, they have a lot of control over y'all. So now I understand why you guys always are so outraged, because most major cities are not like this. The mayor does not have all that control. So the translation of all of this is, Atlanta has closer working relationships, but NYC has institutional power struggles, right? And so that's why there's always drama kicking off in NYC government, whether it's local, city, or state, you know. So yeah, so I just wanted to tell y'all that, like, put it into perspective about like why this matters, and like it gives more context when you see things on the news as to why people are freaking out. um and you know, when people start to use religion, know that that's a way to like gin up fear in you. And don't let it do that. You know, no matter whatever anybody's freaking religion is, the Constitution rules the land. And until they want to use the Constitution to implement some type of religious, you know, thing, that we would never let that happen. Okay, that's not going to be a very easy thing to do for the people. I can guarantee you that. But yeah, I'm gonna let this video play for us.
Longer the exception. We expect greatness from the cooks wielding 1,000 spices, from those who stride out onto our Broadway stages, and from our starting point guard at Madison Square Garden. Let us demand the same from those who work in government. In a city where the mere names of our streets are associated with the innovation of the industries that call them home, we will make the word City Hall synonymous with both resolve and results.
That's a great message right there. Who wouldn't want a government to be more efficient?
Right.
But efficient at what exactly? Playing referee so no one's individual liberties are violated? No, of course not. The government's role under Mamdani will be to restrict individual liberties as much as possible in the name of collectivism. But I gotta say, this guy's a gifted public speaker. He says things that are true, but the solution he prescribes are going to literally destroy you. It's like, hey, the government is...
That's a little doomsday. That's a little doomsday. And that's like more of his opinion than mine. But I appreciate this content creator very much. And I'm going to drop the link to his channel in the description of this video, so that you all can maybe go and watch this video without my commentary, maybe watch some other videos of his, like and subscribe to him. Okay, but it's a little doomsday. I grew up in Germany when the wall was still standing, and that means the city was split in two. It was East Germany and West Germany. I lived on the West German side, but I did visit the East German side 2 times, once as kind of like a field trip experience with my father, and then once again with my whole family. And I can tell you that it was very, very, very scary. It was like I'd never seen so much clean concrete in my life. And I went into a grocery store, and the only thing they had in this really big grocery store was just like a sack of oranges. And I think my dad said they put the oranges out for us, so that when we walked in there, it wasn't like anything at all. There wasn't, so that it wasn't completely empty. And I thought that was really sad. And when I was younger, growing up, I understood what communism was, but I didn't understand these terms like socialism, capitalism, and all of that. So when my dad broke it down for me, he used East Germany as an example, and it just really, it changed my perspective on it. And I would like for you to consider it for yourself if you think that you are a socialist. You know, let's say me and you, one of us has, you know, is college educated, makes over $150,000 a year, and is working to pay back their student loans, pay their mortgage, and raise a family, right? Now, you and me, same age, but you make $44,000 a year. Most of you get government assistance, and you are not in a two-parent household, right? You are not you're instead of being with a man or married, you are essentially married to the government for programs to supplement the fact that you don't make a lot, right? Socialism is making me live like you. Socialism would be the person that's making over 150K pay into a system that lets them live like you. Because not everybody that's going to pay into the system is going to have a pool in their backyard. That's not how socialism works. Everybody is going to get a basic need. So when my dad explained that to me, it was like, you will get what fits your family. If you're a family of 3, you will get a 3-bedroom house, but your 3-bedroom house will be no different from the 3-bedroom house next door to you. Doesn't matter that you went to school for engineering and you got to pay Georgia Tech back. No, no, no. That doesn't matter. You're going to live just like the family of 3 who doesn't have Georgia Tech to pay back, and they're having additional help through government programs. Now, because the government program is just socialism, now the person with the tech salary and the tech student loan debt is going to be living like the person that was making $44,000 a year. Like, they're not going to like play around and say there's no tiers in socialism. That's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is that capitalism is gone, and that socialism stands, meaning you are the same as everyone else, no matter the effort you put into life. I don't think that's fair. I just don't think that's fair. And I understand that homelessness is real. And when I was in my master's program for my postgraduate degree, the one thing that they told me at my interview was, Raquel, I do not want you to try to write anything flowery about ending homelessness, because that can never happen. And I don't think it can. And I don't think socialism fixes that. But there are plenty of theories out there on socialism, capitalism, Marxism, all of these different things, right? It's up to us to educate ourselves. And that's what Power and Petals is all about, educating ourselves. If it's worth it to you to call yourself a thing, to call yourself a Democrat, to call yourself a Republican, to call yourself a socialist, to call yourself a capitalist, whatever it is that you want to call yourself, are you calling yourself correctly? Are you educated in what that thing is, right? Do you know how the city that you live in is governed? Do you know who governs it? These are really important things that we all need to know. So I hope that I didn't bother or bore you all too much. Thank you, Go Cree Cree. I appreciate the super sticker. Thank you, sister. Happy New Year to you. I hope I didn't bother you all too much with this serious topic, but I really feel like we need to, as we're moving into the second year of Trump, and there's going to be all of these different elections, and we're going to be hearing about Jasmine Crockett, and we're going to be hearing about, all of these things. We should know what to expect after hearing about them, right? We should know what changes are possibly going to happen in our cities and states after such things happen, right? Is there going to be another Democrat taking a seat? Is there going to be another Republican taking a seat? What does that mean for Texas? What does that mean for Georgia? So I want us to be really educated on those kinds of things. And I appreciate all of you all for stopping by today. I appreciate Grow Cree for the super sticker and Lynette for becoming a YouTube member. That is so cool. Thank you, Lynette Martin. I hope you enjoy this journey in the garden with all of us. Super cool for you to be here. It was good to see all of y'all drop in. I don't know what's going on in the chat. I can't keep up with the chat when I'm trying to talk about something serious, y'all. So I hope y'all are not fighting. And I hope that everybody was good in the chat, because we did talk about politics. And I know that sometimes that brings out some colorful characters. Okay. But I appreciate all of you all for being with me today. I'll be back tonight at 8:30 on SBC. We'll be back Monday on Smell the Roses at 9 p.m. For the Rose Report, and then we have Wilted Wednesdays. So, and look out for information on the community post, guys, about the members only live panel. We're going to do that on the 11th. I'm going to put the topics out, and I might change the time around to see what's best for members, but I'm still learning how to do certain things. I'm going to have to ask like Fatty or Gavin or somebody, maybe Cree, you can tell me how to make it members only. So yeah, yeah, yeah. That was it for me today, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Smell the Roses. Be good to each other, and all of that good stuff, okay? What are y'all saying in the chat? No need to explain. Yes. Thank you, Pink, Stephen James, boo, politics. No, don't do me like that, Stephen James. You know I love you. CDT Beats. You were on my intro. It was a little short, but yeah, I'm trying to cut my intros not so long on all of the live streams. But I got you in there, CDT Beats. I love you, dog. I just be jamming at home, listening to the same track over and over and over again. Wait a minute, Emmanuel, you said I never appreciate you. Yes, I do. Did you send me something and I didn't acknowledge you? But I do appreciate you. You were talking about tyranny, I think, tonight, and I highlighted your comment. Maybe we'll talk about that on Monday during the Rose Report, or Wilted Wednesdays. Maybe I'll wait to talk about it for Wilted Wednesdays, since everybody's cutting it up and clipping it. People are reaching out to me all hours of the night. That was a hot mess though, wasn't it? Did y'all see it? If y'all didn't see it, I think Don Lexi posted it, and I think that Shaq 2 times posted it too. Lord have mercy. I didn't want to cover it last week. I extended an olive branch. My olive branch is still extended. It's still here. It's still here. It's still here. Now you gonna stop pinning me in your post though. I don't do that to you. I don't do that to you. And then you're gonna delete my comment. Let your people come subscribe to my channel. If you're gonna call me out, subscribe to Smell the Roses. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Y'all don't. Yeah, you can wear your soft pants on Wednesdays, Stephen James. You probably got them on right now. That's why you're talking about them. That's why you're talking about. Oh my God. Y'all, I've been called that out. Come on, stop it. Stop it. Oh yeah, Cree, you don't know about soft pants? It's a whole theory. It's a whole theory I got, Cree. I have to tell you about it. Y'all, go subscribe to Go Cree. She has a dope channel. Y'all, she'll keep you dying. If I bore you on Monday or Wednesday, she will definitely entertain you. Her chat does not play though, so y'all better be in there with some decorum, okay? They will stomp you out and get you up out the paint quick. Oh, okay. So if any of you guys are following Coop on Discord, CDT Beats drop the Tyranny Madness into into Coop's Discord. So y'all go see it. And y'all go subscribe to Go Cree Cree. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Ty Pro. Ty Pro has a channel too, Prolific Minds. Ty Pro, I don't know, do you chat from your channel? If you do, y'all reach out to Ty Pro. He has a really cool show too. It's eclectic. It's eclectic, but deep, thoughtful topics. You got to be strong, be strong because, people ain't holding back their thoughts and feelings. So when you go over there, be strong. And yeah, give my friends a follow, a like, a subscribe. Okay. We're all fabulous. All right. And we're all trying to have a great new year. And we appreciate all of you all for rocking with us. I know I really appreciate it. You guys made my new year so fantastic. And I just hope to keep getting better and giving y'all quality content. That's why we're doing a members only live, so that you guys can feel the love. And I'll be rolling out some additional things for members only. So if you're not a member, please consider grabbing a membership and becoming a rosebud or a rose thorn. Again, I appreciate all of you all for being here today. Y'all go have fun, touch grass, touch each other, but be sweet while you're doing it. Okay? Bye.